What's going on, guys? My name is Rob DC and I'm here bringing you the second episode of Battlefield Survival Strategies. And today I'll be talking about the engineer class as you see me bunny hopping to get away from the enemy. So yeah, let me get right to it. First thing I want to mention is I want to apologize in case the video lags. I don't know what happened. Windows Live Movie Maker, I don't know, whatever. So yeah, if it lags, my apologies. So yeah, let's get started. So the engineer class, it's a lot of fun to use this class. I really enjoy it, especially because you get all those vehicle kills and a lot of points, and that's always fun. Um, First thing I want to talk about are the guns. Obviously, you know, the engineers, they use carbines. My favorite weapon is probably the M4, which is the burst version. It's a lot of fun to use. I don't see it too often in the battlefield, so it's a unique gun in my opinion, and it's a lot of fun to use. Second thing I want to talk about was how to destroy, land vehicles effectively. I feel that the best way to do it is getting on top of buildings. Tanks have a really hard time taking out enemies that are on top of buildings, and it's very effective to get on top of a building and they shoot RPGs down at the tanks and other vehicles. I know that strategy has been used against me, and I used it against many people, just like I did in the last clip. So that's fun. Definitely reading the minimap is important. Knowing your surroundings, knowing what buildings are around you, what buildings you can enter, and which ones you can't. When you're talking about destroying vehicles. So, use the minimap as a tool to effectively take out vehicles. I also want to talk about the Igla because it's been an equipment that engineers get, and it hasn't really been effective anymore. Pilots in choppers and jets now to stay away from the battlefield. They tend to go kind of far away where the Igla can't lock on anymore, and they could just destroy enemies from far away, or just do a quick run through the battlefield, take out a tank, and then just keep on moving. It's unfortunate, but something good did come off of it, and that is the partnership between the recon class and the support class. Sorry, the recon class and the engineer class. Using the Soflam and then using the Javelin. It's a lot of fun. Excuse me. It's a lot of fun to use, and it's very, very effective. And I like how they did it, like how DICE set that up. It's a lot of fun to do it. And I can't wait to see it in Battlefield 4, and I'm sure they're gonna expand on different classes, being able to kind of team up and then do different things. I showed the clip of the mines because I feel like a lot of people forget that engineers do have mines, and they're effective when putting them down on the ground, and then most of the time you forget that you even put them down, but all of a sudden you get a kill, or get a multiple kills and destroy vehicles. So that's always pretty awesome. And yeah, they are effective, so I recommend using them. Obviously, RPGs, the small, the javelin, they're more effective, but mines are there for a reason, and they can be used. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about the Soflam and the javelin. I like the partnership in between them. The only concern that I have, or sometimes I run into, is because a lot of people don't use mics in Battlefield, is that when somebody has a javelin and you can't really communicate with your team to put down a Soflam, but when you do, it's very effective. Obviously you can lock on to air vehicles and then tanks and pretty much everything that's target designated. So it's a lot of fun. Something else I noticed people tend to do is usually medics, recons, and then supports, they get into the vehicles, but I don't have a problem with them getting into the vehicles, but then because they don't have a repair tool once they're damaged, they just tend to abandon the vehicles and then leave them. That's obviously not a smart strategy, because if the enemy does take the vehicle, it becomes very hard for the other team to take out the vehicle to get their own vehicle back. And then when you are in those maps that only have one or two tanks, and you lose one of those tanks to the enemy, then it becomes nearly impossible to win the game. So understanding that if you have a vehicle, it's better for you to have an engineer near you and close to you, when if you need repairs or if you need support. So remember that. Also, if you're not a big on vehicles, that's all right. Just take the vehicle and then take it to the back and just let your teammates know. Even if you're the only one that has the mic. Even they could probably still hear you from their TV. Just be like, anybody wants this vehicle, it's right here, and then hopefully they'll be able to. I'm sure somebody would want a free tank, so you could get that tank and then they could do some work. As you're gonna see in the next clip, we're here in Strike at Karkan, and the enemy is kind of stuck there, I guess, and they don't realize that there's a tank right in front of them. So I start getting a bunch of assists and a few kills, and I see the vehicle, and instead of shooting the vehicle, which I'm glad my teammate didn't do, is I start repairing it, and then I take the vehicle and then use it against them. I kind of fucked up because I thought they were a bunch of noobs, so I didn't completely, later on you'll see what I mean. But yeah, but it's effective, and I did get a few kills with it. Vehicles are essential to Battlefield. Obviously, we know that. We know that vehicles and Battlefield go together so perfectly because that's what DICE has been doing for the last few years. So they're obviously very, very important. I mean, I don't have to tell you Battlefielders that. But it's effective. Well, it's good to know when they need to be utilized and how they need to be utilized. And it's good for people to understand that, what tools they have, what they have to make the battlefield even better or make your team better. I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail of the Iglas a lot and then the EOD bot because again, and I don't know what the fuck happened there. The earth was trying to suck me in or something. Yeah, they have the EOD bot and the Iglas. They haven't become. They're not very effective anymore. But the EOD bot never really was. So I'm not gonna get into that, but I definitely recommend getting a buddy and going. If you do go into maps with a lot of vehicles, is set up that SOFLOM, get the javelin, and just start beasting it, and then take out as many vehicles as you can. It's very, very effective, and it's a lot of fun, and that's just good teamwork. And Battlefield is all about teamwork, which is why I'm excited for Battlefield 4 because they're just gonna bring in more teamwork. And I'm sure they're gonna have a lot more of those scenarios where your class is strong alone, but when you working with another class like the recon does with the engineer, it becomes even more effective. So as you see right there, I got blasted. That's the end of the video though. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good one. Subscribe for more Battlefield 3 content. Thanks for watching.